Hello, good morning. It is August 4th, and as I mentioned yesterday, Veda is a thing that is happening. I apologize that it's kind of dark. The sun is like right there, so I guess I can do, well, yeah, it's gonna be a little dark, but today I'm gonna talk about The Cursed Child, like I mentioned last night. Yeah, I finished it last night like I was planning on. This is really dark. Maybe if I do this. Maybe, no. Kind of. That's a little better. Okay, anyway, so Cursed Child, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It has so many flaws. I see all of the flaws. So definitely see the flaws, and this is definitely going to be spoiler filled, so if you have not read it yet or have not seen it and don't want to be spoiled, please leave the video. I don't want you to be spoiled. I went into it knowing absolutely nothing. Like, I didn't even know what the plot was going to be. I didn't read the description. I avoided all spoilers at all costs. And I think that's for the best. Like, I kind of went in with no expectations, just kind of dove into it. So this is going to be spoiler filled, and go and read it and come back. So for just like I said, I enjoyed it. I do see the flaws. I have a list of like notes that I left sitting on my bed, so I don't have my notes with me. I am going to write up probably a fairly long Goodreads review because I got a lot of feels and got a lot of things that I want to mention that I don't know if I'm going to remember all of them right now. I did enjoy it. Man, it has some flaws. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. Honestly, I'm probably going to cut that down to 3 stars because it's man, it like I keep saying, it has flaws. I mainly gave it 4 stars for nostalgia. I really enjoyed seeing Harry and the gang. I really enjoyed seeing a ton of characters that I was not expecting to see, such as Snape. But so a lot of that's in my star rating is emotional, and that's just it. It's emotional and nostalgia, and I enjoyed it for what it was. That being said, I feel like if you're going to enjoy this at all, you need to go in not expecting anything. I went in with very low expectations because J.K. Rowling didn't write it herself, although according to everything, now I can come out in like 5 years and say that this is totally false, but she did come up with the original story. I don't know if they're meaning the original like Harry Potter story, or if they physically mean she came up with this story. That, from what I'm understanding, she did have her input on the story of The Cursed Child. I don't know how well I believe that because it's a little out there, and I don't, so many things wrong with it. So the first thing that I was not expecting was Amos Diggory, and the whole Diggory connection thing. That was weird. Like, why 22, more 25, 30 years later, like now you're all of a sudden bent out of shape? I mean, we do find out in Act 4 that he was being cursed, but like I get it, he's your son, but it's like so many years later. Like, I didn't expect that character to be like that, which again, I guess he wasn't, because technically he was cursed. Speaking of being cursed, like, Voldemort and Bellatrix have a son or a daughter. What? Like, that came out of nowhere. Like, oh my god, I don't. What? And supposedly she had her like right before the Battle of Hogwarts. Like, I feel like we would have known if Bellatrix was pregnant. Like, I feel like that was a thing that you would be able to tell. I don't know, maybe witches have ways of hiding it better. I don't know, but I feel like that's a thing that everybody would have known, that Bellatrix was pregnant, whether or not everyone would have known it was Voldemort's kid. That's another story, but, like, no. Why is this a thing? It should not be a thing. Also, the Time Turners, like, all the Time Turners got destroyed. Like, yes, I get it, dark magic, you can create whatever, but, like, really? I don't know, I feel like they could have made a better story. I feel like they kept it too much involved with Harry and his story. Like, I was expecting it to be what they said it was. I was expecting it to follow Albus and his adventures, not Albus and his adventures trying to fix his dad's adventures. That was kind of weird, and I feel like it could have been really good had they just given him his own adventure, just, like, followed him through school. But, like, then again, I kind of understand, like, why they did that, like, trying to connect everything, and I don't know. It was just weird. I do love that Albus is a Slytherin. Let me just love that he's a Slytherin. My little Slytherin heart is happy. I was watching some reviews and stuff, and somebody said that basically the cursed child is the Slytherin's fan fiction daydream, which is kind of accurate. Yes, it does read a lot like fan fiction, so I do agree with all of those. I'm not saying that it's, like, the best thing ever, and, you know, 5 out of 5 stars, that's wonderful. I see the flaws. I don't know, that's kind of what I'm trying to get at. Also, the Trolley Witch. Like, I don't understand why all of a sudden the Trolley Witch is, like, this crime-fighting robot, basically. Even though, like, she's not a robot, she's just, like, very kind of, like, animatronic and creepy, like, you're not leaving this train. Like, I feel that being on a magical train, going to a magical school, they would have spells in place on all the windows and doors that they can't physically be opened by a student. Like, I feel like that would be a thing that apparently it's not. Like, why were 2 14-year-olds able to open the windows on a magical train and get out of the train? Like, why was that a thing? I don't understand. There's a lot of stuff that I don't understand, a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense with the world that we know. And there's also a lot of conversation I've seen people talking about, like, is this canon? Is this actually canon? That, in a way, I think it is, because J.K. Rowling gave her stamp of approval and helped with the story and all of this, and, like, her name is on it, like, she gave the okay. But at the same time, no, it's not canon, because, one, it's not another book. It is in play form, which I actually really did enjoy that it was in play form. I feel like it would be pretty awesome on stage, not just reading it. I think that stuff would come across better, actually seeing how the actors portray things. But being a theater person, I like reading plays anyway, so that didn't bother me at all. But I also feel like since she didn't write it, the words and the actions did not physically come from her, that no, this is not canon. It really bothers me that they're, like, claiming this as the 8th story, which they've been claiming that it was the 8th story for, you know, ever since we knew that it was a thing and that it was coming out and that the play was happening. That's kind of a stretch. Like, I don't feel like it is the 8th story, because I feel like all of Harry Potter is one story. Like, from beginning to end, he was trying to take down Voldemort, which is what happened, and I guess technically he's trying to take down part of Voldemort. In this one, it's just, it's really weird and confusing. I also really did not like how they portrayed Ron. I love Ron. Ron Draco and the twins are my favorite characters. And they made Ron kind of really creepy and stupid. Like, just plain stupid. I feel like the stuff that he was doing and saying, he would not do or say. Like, they just made him out to be an idiot. I really did not like their portrayal of Ron. I'm hoping that maybe actually in the stage show, the actor is doing a better job of portraying Ron and not letting his dialogue like pull Ron down. But I really didn't like that. Like, really didn't like that. I did like what they did with Draco's character, because Draco is also one of my favorite characters, and you really get to see a different side of Draco, which is the side that you started kind of seeing in the later books. So that was kind of nice. I love his kid. His kid is awesome. This little Scorpius. He's fun. Also was expecting to see more of the children. Like, you hardly see Rose at all. You don't see Ron and Hermione's other kid. You see nothing of Lily. I mean, you see her for like a minute, maybe in the first act. You only see James a couple of times. Like, I was expecting more of the children. Like, I guess what I was expecting going into it was following the kids at Hogwarts, not following mostly the adults trying to find the kids. So that was kind of a disappointment. I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed it for what it was. I know there's stuff that I'm forgetting that was in my notes, and I don't have my notes with me. Lisa. What else? I wish that they would have showed more of Neville. Like, they talked about Neville a lot. You show all these other characters that no one was expecting you to show, and Neville wasn't in it, like, hardly at all. They mentioned him a few times, mentioned that he was a professor. Like, I feel like Neville would have been there helping them find the kids since he was a professor at Hogwarts. Just throwing that out there. Where's Hagrid? Like, Hagrid was in the, like, back in time scenes, but wasn't there otherwise. Like, are all these characters dead? Which I feel like they wouldn't be. I mean, Professor McGonagall's still there, so clearly all of the other characters are more than likely still alive. Not saying that something could have happened in, you know, the 20 plus years that later that the play takes place, but I also feel like we should have seen more of the Weasley family, and we didn't see any of them. I mean, at least see George. I mean, Ron's working in the joke shop, which also surprises me. Like, I don't feel like Ron would work in the joke shop. I feel like he would be in the Ministry as well with Harry and Hermione. Again, they made Ron be a joke, and I don't like that. Yeah. Trying to think of what else I have in my notes. I don't know. Like I said, I'll have a full Goodreads thing with all of my notes and kind of bullet points and stuff, which that probably is also going to be completely spoiler review. I'll link it in the description at some point. This is probably going up before I write it, because that's the thing that's happening. So, yeah. I guess that's really all I have. This video is getting a little long. I wish I could remember. I'm going to remember, like, everything that I didn't say as soon as I get into work. And then I'm going to want to re-record this, but that's not going to happen. So that's really all I have. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to talk about Suicide Squad, because it does come out tomorrow, and I got to see it on Monday. I did enjoy it. Critics are, like, bashing it so hard, and that's what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. So that'll be fun. I'm seeing it again on Saturday, so I might change my mind and wait until Monday to talk about it, just kind of like having re-seen it, but probably not, because, you know, it's what's gonna happen. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on The Cursed Child. People seem to either love it or hate it. I'm kind of both. I love it for the nostalgia. I hate it for practically everything else. Oh, also, Harry is a jerk. Like, Harry, why are you being so rude to your child? That, I don't know. I just feel like the dialogue between everybody wasn't how they would be. Then again, it is, 20 years later. Like, obviously their demeanor is going to change, and their, way they do go about things is going to change. I don't know. Ron bothered me the most. Everyone else was okay. But Harry is kind of a jerk, which, I mean, he kind of is in the books, too. I never really was a fan of Harry himself. I always liked Draco and Ron better, but, that's the thing that's happened. So I really am done now. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a great day. Bye.